We're recording. So this is our first podcast.
I don't know what to say.
Okay. We've tried this before, and this attempt is the no planning attempt.
Yeah.
I'm Peter.
I'm Esther.
We've been married for over
12
12 years.
years.
We've been together. It'll be
Fifth,
16 in March.
yeah, 16.
Who are you?
Who am I? Would you like to know my story? I'm not ready.
Well, that's the whole point, is you're never ready.
I just don't like it. I don't know what to say ever. You're asking me who I am. Am I supposed to tell you what I do for a living or how I.
Isn't that a difficult question to answer?
It's a really difficult question to
Yeah.
answer. But even the beginning, it was like, I didn't know how to say anything. Now I don't want this at all.
But this is it.
I don't. This is
This is
not it.
this is it. This is how you introduce yourself to people. This is how you be
This is not
vulnerable.
it.
This is how you be vulnerable. So today I was looking
No, stop it.
at,
We're starting over. So we tried this and I got awkward. And I'm realizing that this is going to be harder than I thought. And I'm going to get emotional.
hi, this is our podcast. We've tried this before a couple times.
Yeah.
Where are we right now?
Tulip Town?
Yeah. What's Tulip Town?
It's a place you built.
Yeah, I did most of the building. But you've been with me the whole time I've been building it.
Yeah.
And
Mostly.
no, I mean like with me.
Okay.
I carry you with me wherever I go. So 5 years ago, Esther's grandparents had a 34-foot 1984 Prowler travel trailer on a campground not far from here. I had been wanting and feeling like I needed a place off grid. I've been looking at like property that we couldn't reasonably afford,
Mm-hmm.
but I was trying to find properties where one day, maybe soon, we might be able to reasonably afford it. Like there was this one property, it was 2 acres next to a little stream. And when I first found it, they were asking 50 grand. And the price kept on going down. And at one point, it was at like $30,000. And I thought, I don't have 30 grand right now, but I could reasonably, very quickly put that kind of money together and have this 2 acre parcel of land to go out and like, build a little cabin or experiment with solar power and collecting energy from flowing water and stuff like that. And I had a thought one day, I'm gonna go into that app and look and see that listing gone, and I immediately went and it was gone. But I had learned something. I'd been learning. This was 2020. I'd been going through a journey of self-discovery. Um, in 2020 I was 39,
Yeah.
and I realized that your greatest moments, the most wonderful things that come to you in life, always come to you in ways you never would have imagined for yourself. And I also, to pull from our religious upbringing,
Mm-hmm.
would take kind of the scripture that says, your prayers are answered before you've even prayed them. Means that the answer to all your wishes, all your prayers, is already there. And like the prayer is just accepting what you've already got. And I went through this little thought experiment, I guess, and realized, oh, if I just wanted kind of a place out in the wilderness, I bet we could take your grandparents' old trailer and park it out on that parcel of land that your family farms with nothing on it but a windmill. And I would have everything that I was actually looking forward to in this little piece of property that I thought I had to buy and own to get there. And so we started talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
And the idea was, because your grandparents are Dutch immigrants.
Yeah, so we named it after my grandparents' heritage of being Dutch in Tulip Town.
I like alliteration.
Tulips are very Dutch. And so, yeah, we named it Tulip Town. It's my grandparents' trailer, and we were going to put it on my family property.
So back then, 5 years ago, what were you doing for work?
Nothing. COVID.
It was. So you had not started your job with a Canadian airline.
No.
And I was just starting a job doing remote work. Mm-hmm. So I got to be a remote worker working for a company that is 100% remote for about 5 or 6 months before the rest of the world went remote for COVID.
Yeah.
I was super excited to be working for this company. It was like not great pay, but all the freedom and flexibility in the world. And it was remote. And I got to pick my own hours. And then COVID hit, everyone went into lockdown, and everybody was working remotely.
You weren't special anymore.
It wasn't special anymore. For those first 3 years, it was every single weekend I was here. I wanted to be here as much as I possibly could.
Yeah.
You not so much.
No.
Today, we're in our big dumb van.
Yes. We're not in the trailer right now. We are in the van.
Tell us about that.
Well, we had talked about van life for years, and we watched YouTube stuff, and there would always be this like thing in the back of our minds that like that'd be cool to do.
So this idea has been floating around our head, and it wasn't until July 2024 I was looking at my car payments and realizing that I would be making my last car payment on the Mazda. And I saw that that payment was going to be gone, and I thought, I wonder if I could just straight trade the Mazda for an old van. So I started looking at, would anybody accept a straight trade? Because like, even if we just had the van, I'd have something to drive, and we could start, rebuilding or renovating something.
Yeah.
Because I figured what the car was worth wasn't going to be like a full, ready-to-go van. And then I saw this one and was like, if we bought this van and got rid of the house and just lived at Tulip Town in the warm months and used the van to travel around and then went to Mexico in the winter, we could have that life like today.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that?
I loved the idea of it, but the step of getting rid of the comfort of a home was very big for me. I was like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
You think maybe a little similar to the beginning of this podcast?
Exactly. Same feeling. Same feeling. But like, I wanted the van and I wanted that freedom, but I also was like, it was that leap of, and I love the house that we were in. Mm-hmm. So to get rid of that was like such a big decision. And it was scary.
And it wasn't just getting rid of the house, it was getting rid of the stuff in the house.
Yeah.
But what we found in that process of letting go of things, I am the one who puts meaning on things.
Yeah.
And we really understood, I can put meaning on and I can take meaning off. Mm-hmm. And there are things that we got rid of that I'd been moving with since my teenage years that I just took pictures of and let go of. And it felt actually so much better than I was scared of.
Yeah. Once I started the motions of getting rid of stuff, it was it got easier and easier and easier.
So, Esther, we are learning to get rid of stuff and not be attached to things, right? But then we're giving it to people.
Who probably are hoarders. I don't know who these people. I mean, most people are like buying like one item. It's like for a purpose, but people who like take a lot of things and just like put it in their car, and then they come back later and take more things. I don't. I I wonder what their houses look like.
Their house looks like ours did a week ago.
Not quite. We had some stuff, but you're the hoarder.
This podcast, we've talked about it for a long time because we have so much we want to share.
Yes.
But we really just wanted to introduce ourselves today for those who don't know us already, and maybe provide some extra context to those who do know us already, and just get into it. Where we find ourselves today, I'm unemployed and not looking for a job.
No.
Which is difficult. Don't think that's easy.
I think a lot of people would be like, wow, it must be nice.
Yes, it's difficult to be comfortable in this world.
Yes.
And say, I'm not looking for a job or a career. Now, I'm betting on myself, and this podcast is part of it, right?
Totally.
Not that we're putting expectations on it, but we're making space for opportunity to flow.
Yeah, we're allowing you to focus more on your creative ventures and being an artist. Your lifestyle is very artistic.
And that's the thing that I've been kind of learning and realizing is like, I studied improv at Second City. I studied theater, which was an improv-based theater technique. Like I'm a performer. Part of learning that has been us going on TikTok Live and me going on TikTok Live myself, and having people say, you should have a podcast.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, we had the idea, we were going to do one, we were going to do a series, and we tried it, we had a plan. We've done tons of planning and setup for this.
I know.
And we could never get something that we were like happy to release to you.
It never felt right.
And so I was like, well, we just need to get started. We just need to get going. We just need to be prepared to suck, which is something that I would have tried to teach you when we first met.
Yep.
And people ask us all the time,
how did you meet?
Why don't we tell them?
Okay. So we met at a college. I was a student. He worked at the college.
Now, there's a key word in that college that you're avoiding saying, and I know why.
Everyone knows why.
And it's a big, big part of our story.
It is.
And part of what we want to talk about, and part of what we're afraid and kind of uncomfortable talking about. Because the folks at home...
It was a Bible college.
And that is difficult for us to say, I think, for two reasons.
For me, personally, it's difficult for me to say because that is not a reflection of who I am today. So it's like, I feel that people have a idea of someone who goes to Bible college is exactly who I was, but I'm not that today. And that's cringe to me.
The other?
Go for it.
It's our families.
Yeah.
There's things that we would talk about, just you and I, and with some of the folks at home, that we wouldn't want to openly do in front of parents, aunts and uncles, cousins, siblings.
No.
And we want to be able to talk about that freely. We think that there's a ton of you out there that has the exact same experience. And we want to be able to be a leader in speaking about these things openly.
Yeah.
So, you were at Bible college.
I was at Bible college.
I was a student there for 2 years, and then I was a facilitator. I was the department coordinator for 3 years, and I took on some adjunct teaching roles. And those roles were of improv teacher. So I would with you, I had scheduled improv classes.
Yes, once a month.
It started by the acting instructor looking at me and going, I can't with these people today. Can you just go do an improv class with them? I just can't. And it turned into me actually being paid to go in and do that. And then I was also the technical theater instructor.
Yes.
Okay. This was a theater program that wasn't religious at all.
No, the program itself had nothing to do with Christianity.
It just was a theater program in a Bible college for Christian students.
Correct.
And the program itself was the exact same program that was taught at the Neighborhood Playhouse in New York City. The director of the program and the head acting teacher was certified at the Neighborhood Playhouse in New York City. And we learned the Meisner technique of acting. And I was, as well as the department coordinator and the improv teacher and the technical theater facilitator instructor, I was also shadowing under the acting instructor to learn how to teach the Meisner technique. At some point, I may have gone to New York City in order to finish that training and get certified as a Meisner instructor. So these were all very like high-level professional acting instructors, courses within a Bible college. And I can say, as the department coordinator, there was a lot of friction between the program and the Bible college. There was a lot of differences of opinions on faith and religion, and we kind of saw ourselves as different than everybody else at the school.
Mm-hmm.
So when you came into the program, there were certain kids that I would see as, these little focused on the family, indoctrinated, homeschooled, robots.
Mm-hmm.
And then there were other kids
mm-hmm.
who are like, oh, they're an actual human being.
Mm-hmm.
And not that the other ones aren't human beings, but they were
so deep into indoctrination.
And that's why we're uncomfortable even saying Bible college, because we don't want people to see us as them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was never that.
But I was that. And for so much of my life, I pushed against that.
But I saw that you weren't.
Because I had worked so hard not to be.
Yeah. And I'll say the first time I observed your class, I went in as a shadowing the instructor, learning how to teach the Meisner technique, which is very different from learning it as an actor. And I just kind of wrote one word for every student. And every student got up to do this repetition exercise, which is how you begin learning the Meisner technique. And under you, I wrote superstar. You just had this energy to you, this like fight. Like you were ready to do it. You were happy to be there.
Yes, I was.
You want to speak to that?
Well, I finally felt like that was a place where I could be comfortable, and I love theater, I love performing, I love singing. It was all there, and yeah, I was just really excited to be there. And I don't know.
You felt like you found a place where you belong.
I felt like yeah, because it was the perfect balance of it's still a it's a Christian school. You're allowed to be here. Like my parents were paying for it. They were approved. But at the same time, I was with kids who didn't grow up like I did. They were more, involved in the world. And I loved that.
And all of your instructors were like top notch.
Yeah, they were
talent,
working in their field.
but also accepting of the whole religious thing.
But they weren't themselves Christian.
Not all of them.
No,
No, not most of them.
most of them
Because we didn't consider
are
it one
not.
bit. Whereas in the program, and we fought with the higher ups at the college a lot about this, you had to make a declaration of faith to get into the program.
Yes.
And there were individuals judging whether you were Christian enough
Yeah.
to get in. And there were people that we denied, not we as the acting
But the
program.
school.
The school denied them entrance to the college before they could be accepted into the theater program because their statement of faith didn't line up. Like one person, they were Catholic. And they're like, oh no.
That's not the same as being a Christian.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous.
So that was the space where you and I met, where I was your instructor and the department coordinator,
Yeah.
and you were a student.
Yeah.
So we've been together for almost 16 years and married for 12. How does that change? People have been asking.
People have been asking. Well, you were the technical theater director, which is like building sets and doing the lights and all that. And I was in first year. The second years had a show. We were doing the technical theater for the second years. You were instructing us on things to do for that theater production. You needed someone to be your foreman when you weren't around because you couldn't make all of it was like every night we were in class for technical theater and you couldn't come to all of them.
Let me fill this in a little bit. In previous years, the people who we hired to do that, if they weren't able to be right in their hands-on with the students, I was the one who was covering for them. And I ended up at so many productions having to go into the theater spaces and helping out the kids with this that they said, let's split the budget. Let's give Peter the job of facilitating the work, the actual like execution on the sets and the lighting and the sound, and hire a designer just to do that design work and oversee it. So we split the budgets, and they only had enough money to pay me for 2 days a week in class. So what we would do is I would go in on Mondays and we would talk about what we need to build for set, what we need to gather for props, what we need to gather for sound, what we need to put together for lighting. We needed one student to be in the rehearsals with the second year students who are rehearsing the play to be the stage manager. And we needed one other student to kind of be what we called the foreman on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday when I wasn't in class, to kind of just keep things moving and make sure that everybody was doing what they were supposed to be doing. Mm-hmm. And you won or lost, depending on how you look at it.
No, me and my roommate wanted to be the assistant stage manager, but you were like, you can't have two, so the person who loses this coin toss has to be my foreman. We're like, okay, fine. And then I lost, so I was your foreman.
So what that meant is every Monday, you and I would be going around and talking with the props people and the lighting people and the set people and the sound people and be like, okay, where are we at and what are you working on? And we would try and put together some kind of a plan for the week. Mm-hmm. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, you'd be the one keeping them on task. Yes. And you had my phone number if you needed to ask me.
Yes.
What was kind of the guidance that I would give you?
You pretty much just said trust that you know what you're doing and just do it.
Yeah. I think, as I recall, it would have been, don't come to me first.
Yeah.
Say what you think I would say first and see how far that takes you before you come to me. Like, do everything you can to not have to bother me Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then on Friday, I would come in and you and I together would go around to all the departments and see if they achieve their goals for the week and try and set them up for success for the next week.
Yep.
Okay. So we were developing a relationship that was unique to my relationships with all the other students. Mm-hmm.
Professional, but friendly.
Yeah. I would ask you questions about, like, oh, your family, and, oh, you're the youngest of 6 kids, I'm the youngest of 5 kids. Like, we related a lot. And there were always a few students that I would be able to talk to in that way.
Sure.
and have that kind of relationship. But I had never, ever kind of gone beyond those roles. But there was one day,
Yes.
March 17th.
March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. You had taken me and another friend in the program to out, and you're like, are you guys okay? You guys need to relax. You guys need to get out. We were getting overwhelmed with the institution.
Yeah. So we were very close to the second year's production. So the way this school worked, it was 2 years. In the first year, you do the tech, and in the second year, you are the actors. So we were very close to a second year production. You're in the second semester. You've got about a month and a half left of school. And this program was 9 a.m. till 10 p.m. at night with the same people in a Bible college.
Yeah.
And it was like you're in this weird prison.
Yeah.
And I saw you and your roommate getting really kind of stressed out. And I knew that you were the type of girls that would go to a bar and have a drink.
Of course.
And so I took you aside first, I think.
Maybe.
And I said, it's St. Patrick's Day. The rest of the world's out getting drunk. Get out of this place and just go into the real world. And your reply?
I was like, I can't afford that.
So I talked to her roommate separately and kind of said the same thing. Now,
she's not my roommate.
You're a good friend in the program.
Yes.
And kind of said the same thing. Now, in that conversation, in my office, she confessed to me that she liked me. And that was the first part of this that was like, this is starting to get a little bit outside of the teacher-student relationship. I didn't know what to do with that, but she said she didn't have money.
So then you invited us out.
I thought it was safe with the two of you.
Yeah.
Right? So I said, I will take you two and buy you a beer. And so we kind of made this plan.
Yep.
And how did that feel?
Fun. I was like, oh, this is fun. Go out with Peter.
And we
didn't think anything of it.
And so we went to, the bar that was within walking distance of the college. It was like they served Cisco food. It was a chain bar.
Like Joe Original or something.
Yeah. And I must have asked you what you wanted to drink.
I said I had never, no, did I tell you I never had beer before?
I don't know.
I said I don't know what I like, and you ordered for me. You're like, oh, you'll like this.
Big Rock Traditional.
Traditional ale.
And we, the plan was like a drink.
Yeah.
And I think maybe it was 2.
We had 2 beers there.
And then your friend went to the bathroom. And while she was in the bathroom, I had some one-on-one with you. It was outside of the classroom, having a beer. It was
very relaxed.
As if we were peers.
Definitely.
And I started talking about a theater company that did really good work. And when I was a student, we would have class trips and go out and see all the different theater companies. This was in Calgary. And I said, what, you haven't seen a show by this company?
Yeah, because we weren't going out and seeing theater in Calgary.
That got cut from the budget. And so I said, wait a second. I've got seasons tickets. Let's go on Friday. And you said?
Sure. Sounds great.
I didn't think anything of it because I was just sitting across the table with a peer, somebody that I developed a friendly relationship with. And I found an opportunity to go, wait a second. I haven't even made plans to go see the show that they're putting up. And I've already got the ticket myself. This makes perfect sense. I'll just buy one for her and then we'll go. Now, the rest of the evening, we went back to her apartment.
Had another drink.
We bought cigars.
We went out on the patio. All 3 of us smoked some cigars.
And for me, it was like, this is them letting loose.
Yeah, we were having a great time listening to music and just letting loose.
I was trying to kind of show them you can be a Christian and have some drinks and smoke, and you don't have to. And I knew that you guys were into that, into the kind of breaking boundaries.
Sure.
Um,
Got a little late. We had to have class at 8 a.m. in the morning.
and the next day, I looked at the situation and thought, uh-oh, that went a little bit further than just encouraging you to go out for a drink.
And here I am being, oh, that was so fun.
And I remember taking you aside into an empty classroom, not one of the theater rooms. It was just like the regular college classroom.
Yeah.
And I said, listen, I don't think at that point I would have used the language, I'm in a position of authority.
No.
But I was like,
it was implied that it's what you were talking about.
I'm your teacher. You're my student. And I'm realizing I asked you out on what could have been interpreted as a date. I don't want you to feel like you have to do this. Like, I want to give you the opportunity to back out.
And I was like, what are you talking about? I'm not going to back out of this. I want to go.
Now, I had already told the college and the program that I was ending my contract at the end of June of that year. This was now March 18th.
Yes.
A Thursday.
And
I knew that it would be looked upon poorly. And I was like, what the fuck? Let's just do it. So on March 19th, we went to the theater.
We did.
I treated it like a date.
Yeah. I had a great time.
We kissed. And there was something there.
Yeah.
And it was built on this kind of friendship that we developed.
Definitely.
You were just as beautiful then as you are now, but I resisted even seeing you that way because you were my student first. And it was like, not only is she beautiful, but like this is happening because there was like a click between us in character and personality.
Yeah.
So that was a good time Friday night.
It was.
Saturday morning, I get a phone call from the husband of the director of the program. He said, you need to come over to the house right now. Now, there's a ton of backstory on my relationship with him, his wife, who's the acting teacher, the director of the program, and my mentor teaching me the Meisner technique. There's a whole other story in there that we're just not even going to touch right now.
No.
But we were very close. They at first were my teachers. So he was my vocal production singing teacher. And then he became my co-worker because he worked in the office with me. We shared an office. But we were also friends, and we spent all this time together, like a lot of time together, being regular human beings who swore, smoked, drank, and also worked at a Bible college.
Yeah.
Right? Maintained a faith, but also we're trying our best to be the cool kids.
Mm-hmm.
And he calls me up and says, you have to come to the house right now. And I went over and they said, what happened on Wednesday night? Very pointed. And I was like, I have no reason to lie.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I took these two students out for a drink at a bar. Because they looked like they were getting stressed in the whole institute. Like I was very forward.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no discussion at that point. It was, okay, you have to resign.
Just from us going out and having a drink together.
And it was like, how did they even like get the idea about this? And this is where it gets really weird. The woman who held the position that I did as department coordinator while I was a student quit, and I assumed the role of department coordinator, and she became a student. And she became a student in your class.
She was in my class.
So she quit, and then 2 years later, she enrolled as a student. And we had a relationship. We were in a theater company together. Like the director of the program, her husband, this woman, and I were like a foursome for years of friends getting together and putting on comedy shows and working together outside of the school, in the school. And she saw you and your friend in the class show up a little late to ballet class.
We weren't even late. We were just the last ones to arrive, a little disheveled.
And for whatever reason, she assumed you had been out with me.
I guess she saw us talking the night before at the school, the three of us.
So she, at a little dinner party on the Friday night, while you and I were out on our very first date, she says to this husband and wife, the director of the program, I think these two students went out with Peter on Wednesday and showed up Thursday night hungover. Thursday morning hungover.
We were not hungover.
But that's all they were going off of. And it was like, you have to come and talk to us. So from our date on the Friday night, I didn't even have time to like wake up and think about it, because the phone call woke me up and I had to go and tell them. And they're like, well, you got to resign. And I said, okay. And then they said, is there anything else you need to tell us? I was like, oh, well.
What's done is done at that point.
After the Wednesday, I actually went out with her last night and we, it was a date. And so then it was like, okay, they thought they had to protect themselves, that if the higher ups at the school found out, it would be this.
They were scared that the program would be in jeopardy.
Now, the director of the program had said to me years ago, before that, like 2 or 3 years before that, like it's one of her biggest fears that an instructor in the theater program would get involved with a student and it would destroy the whole thing.
You didn't think about that. You were just living in the moment.
Yeah. Which is what the Meisner technique is. Living truthfully in the given imaginary circumstances of the moment. So they terminated my employment that day. You got called aside.
I got called the Sunday. And it was like, we're coming to pick you up from residence. We're going to take you to our place. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, why is it was her husband that picked me up, my vocal teacher. Took me to their house, sat me down. And the whole time it was such an awkward like conversation because he's not saying why he's picking me up. They're not telling me anything. And they sit me down like in front of them in their living room. They're like, you need to tell us what happened. And I was like, okay. And I was like, what is this a big deal about? Like, I did not see the problem. I'm like, yeah, we went out. Yeah, okay. They're like, are you okay? Did he take advantage of you? I'm like, no. What are you talking? Like, no, you know, Peter, no. That's crazy. And then they were like, okay, well, you can't continue seeing him. And
which was like, well, then I definitely am.
And me being the rebellious person that I am, it's like, well, I definitely am then.
Yeah, it was weird because they turned.
Yeah.
Like you said, you know Peter, and they did. Mm-hmm. They knew me intimately. As good as anyone could. And it all of a sudden was like, well, if you want to file a lawsuit for like wrongful dismissal, you can't. Like they
took it personally. There was a lot going on in their personal lives.
There's a whole other story we're not even talking about. There were things going on that are outside of that really influenced their response to this.
Definitely.
But what happened is I did not go back for another day. I cleaned my office out the Saturday. I left behind a lot of stuff, which you tried to...
I took some stuff.
Yeah.
For you.
There was an announcement made to all the students.
Yep.
Peter's not going to be around. Mm-hmm. We had this big show coming up that I was supposed to be there to facilitate.
Another student cried.
there was reactions from all the students. I got some emails from some of them. And you finished out your first year.
Yeah.
And this was the type of program where your first year, you're kind of like competing to come back the second year. And you were invited back.
Mm-hmm.
And
they didn't hold it against me.
They did not. We nourished our new relationship in secret.
Which was so fun.
It was. When they said you couldn't see me. And then we spent the summer together in Toronto. Because I knew I was moving back at the end of June. So I just ended up moving back at the end of April. And you went back for your second year, and we did long distance for that year.
Yeah.
And then it was a few more years after that we ended up getting married.
Yeah.
And that's how we met.
That's the beginning of us.
That's the beginning of us. And it's almost 16 years later, and we've got this van, and we've built our off-grid retreat, Tulip Town, and we spent last winter traveling around Mexico, and we're going
to do it again this winter.
Just booked our first 2 weeks in Mexico yesterday, so we're in the planning stages for how we're going to spend our winter, but this is our life. This is where we're at, and then how we got here. Now, is that so bad?
No.
That was pretty easy, right?
Yeah. I'm just letting you take the reins.
Part of the reason I wanted to talk about how we met is because I wanted to talk about me as your teacher.
Okay.
And what I would say is, at the beginning of class, because it was an improv class,
prepare to suck.
Prepare to suck. Get ready to do horrible. And that's what I wanted this to be. I wanted to come into this with the whole, let's just do it. Prepare to suck. And then put it out there. Because the fears, the fear of being perceived, trying to curate yourself for certain people and different for other people. Yeah. I just wanted to get that all out of our heads and just suck and just do it. Just say it. Say what? What we said. Here we are. So we'll post this up on the YouTube channel. We'll promote it to the people that we do want to hear it. And the rest of them can find it if they want, right?
Definitely.
You're okay with that?
Absolutely.
So disclaimer.
What are we disclaiming?
If we know each other personally, and you got a nice little idea of who you think we are and you don't want it to change,
then don't watch this, because we're getting into the nitty-gritty.
This was just how we met. There's a lot that we're going to share about what's happening in our life now and what has happened to bring us to this place. You might not want to know.
But you're welcome either way.
We are doing this so that we can be the same person.
Everywhere we go.
Everywhere we go.
With nothing to hide.
And how do we land on that? With each other, growing together in love. We can accept ourselves and each other, and that's who we want to share with everybody else.